Welcome to episode 19. Hello and welcome. Last time we took the cylinders and heads off, refurbished them, and today we're putting them all back on. Enjoy. Okay, to assist with our engine build, we've ordered a complete engine gasket kit, which came from a place called Motorworks, if anyone knows that. That's great. So it's everything you need for the engine. Literally everything. So that's all the oil filter gaskets and rings. There's a new set of circlips for the piston. There's air breather. There's the rings for the top of the. Anyway, you'll see all that. Head gasket, etc. So let's crack on with this. I'm going to begin by doing the right hand cylinder. These are the consumables that I'll be using in no particular order. There's the two O-rings for the top studs. There's the pushrod tube seals. There's the barrel base O-ring. There's the circlips for the piston pin. There's the rocker cover gasket, and there's a cylinder head gasket. So without further ado, let's start this off. There's this barrel base O-ring, which goes on there like that. The old one was cream, and that goes into, there's a groove. I'm sure you can see. That goes into that groove there. Earlier models had an aluminium gasket, but this is just a ring. Okay, next is the pushrod tubes. Now these are directional. See the line on there? That has to be vertically down. So they literally just push on, although they push on the right way. Like that. Great stuff. So you'll see in these, in the cylinder head here, there's two different, the top two holes have a extra milled groove in, and that's where the O-rings go in. I'm going to put a little bit of grease on the O-rings just to hold them in place, so they get snagged on the threads of the studs. Just a little bit of grease in there to hold those in. One, two. Before I reassemble, I'm just going to check these pushrod lifters. There's quite a small hole in the centre of that, so I'm just using a paper clip, and I'm just going to grab that like that and have a quick look at the surface of that. That is mint. Look at that, beautiful. So that one's fine. And the next one, I'm not using a magnet to pull it out because you can magnetize the end of the push rod, which isn't ideal. So I'm just using a bit of friction, and this Okay, that one's got a tiny bit of pitting on. You see that? Just there. But that's not too bad. Not worth replacing anyway. Okay. Pop that back in as it came out. Lovely. So there's several methods of reattaching this. The key thing is to attach the piston to the end of the conrod there. So the way I'm going to do that, I'm going to actually put the piston back in the cylinder using a piston ring compression tool. Let me show you how I'm going to do that. That's probably the easiest way I think it's being done. So let's do that now. You can try and get this in by just compressing those rings by hand. You see that? But they're actually quite sharp, and you can cut yourself. So this is the easiest way of doing it for me anyway. So eBay special. There's only a few pounds. Essentially, you pop that on there and wind it in, sort of super carefully. You see that getting tighter? Okay, a little more, I think. Like that. And now, that slides out a little bit. And then what I'll do is I'll push that into the cylinder. You can use the soft end of a hammer. I have my trusty rubber-ended hammer, which is you need to tap that in. That won't cause any damage to the piston face. And remember again from previous, there's this arrow. See this arrow here? That points to the exhaust. So when I'm putting the cylinder on or orienting the cylinder, I can make sure I put that piston in with the arrow pointing the right way. Okay. So, exhaust end is this end at the front. I'll show you that. And push that in. Time for a bit of strap persuasion. Wowza! So that's the piston nicely inside the cylinder. I can push that on a bit more, just till the ends come out at the bottom. There you go, like that. My two O-rings are still in, held in with the grease like that. So I can now just slide it onto the studs. Line this up carefully. Like so. And now I'm going to push the cylinder out so the soft hammer required. I'll just move the camera around so you can see. So I'm just going to tap this out. Oops. So you can see now that's clear of this. And I can put the pin through and just pop a new circlip on that end. Okay, this pin goes in here. It's a really tight fit, so I'll put the pin in the freezer and then use the heat gun just to warm this this up a little bit. Okay, pin out of the freezer. Nicely goes in. Just drop that piston head down and line that up to get that through, and that pushes beautifully right through. That's nice. And then my other circlip on the other side. That's it. So now I need to just push this gently like so. This won't fit flush up here until we torque up the head, because obviously the push rod tube seals are pushing it out a little bit. Okay, piston on, head gasket, cylinder head. Okay, and you'll remember from the previous one that we got all the rocker parts, etc. Here, labelled them all up. So this is the inlet push rod, which can go back in there. And this is the exhaust push rod. Which can go back in there, like that. Remember this casting fault from the earlier episode? Well, actually that sits outside of the gasket, so it's not a crisis. And this is the exhaust rocker, so I can just slide that back on. And there's the inlet rocker, which we can slide back on. Like so. And then back on with these 4 bolts. Fail. And you can see this gap here is narrowing as I just tighten these up. Super. We're going to progressively tighten these bolts to pull the cylinder back onto the engine block. These are the progressive torque settings: 15, 25, 35. The book stops at 35. There's actually a YouTube video showing someone doing it to 39. Give that some thought. And this is the sequence. I'll be tightening them in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 5 and 6 aren't currently in. So I'll just do that now. Oh, his head kicking the camera. So let's crack on with 15. Two. 3. 4. 5. 6. Okay, then up to 25. 1. Oops. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. Then up to 35. 1. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. And you know what? I'm going to stop there. You'll remember that this centre stud had a repair done. I've decided not to re-repair it on the grounds that it'll probably cause more trouble than it's worth, so I'll just reinsert the stud, although I will use some thread lock to keep it steady. I will do the valve clearances, etc. in a separate video. So for now, I'll just put the cylinder head gasket on, and the cylinder head. I'm going to go bronze for this. Oops. There you go. Lovely. Okay, now I'm going to repeat this for the other side. So left-hand cylinder now, the O-ring for the barrel base, Oops. Get a little groove that's there. That's lovely. And my new push rod tube seals. Ensuring they're facing downwards. That's great. Okay. Piston in next. Good. Remember, of course, remember our arrow, which is there, goes to the exhaust. And today the exhaust is on this side, so that goes in like that. Small bit of persuasion with the persuader. Beautiful. And then push that right till it's out the bottom. In fact, we want to push, we'll do it on the, well, it's on the bench this time. We want to push it so that we'll pull it, so that I'll tap it out. Oops. So the hole is clear, almost clear that. A bit more of the side, not quite clear on this side. There you go, the hole is clear. That's good. Then the O-rings with a bit of grease on them. One in that hole. One in that hole. Okay, so one in there. And one in there. Like so. Now it's straight onto the studs. Actually, this one's a far easier assembly. Look at that, that's going to go on. That's just going to slide straight on, pin straight in. He said, usually famous last words, but we'll give it a go. Oops. Okay. Looking good. We've got to check these little cam follower things. Tiny bit of pitting on that. Tiny. It's going back. And the other one. You got a little bit on there. See that? I'm not putting it there. About 6 o'clock. Focus. Anyway, there's some pitting on that one. Just going back in. 2. Okay. Beautiful, like a glove. Okay, piston in. Now it's time to oops. There we go. Head gasket. I'm pretty sure there's only one way these will go on, but there you go. Okay, do a dab of oil on the lifter end of the pushrod tube, and then again just show you, this is the inlet rocker IR, so inlet, rocker end, dab of oil on the end of that. Beautiful. So now let's pick out the exhaust rocker assembly. That way up. On there. Like so. And that will entertain that. And that makes this the inlet rocker. Which I will drop. Just look at the tube aligned inside there. There you go. There you go. Okay. And then the 4 bolts. 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'll just give those a nip up. I'll just give you a bit of a close-up of this tightening up, actually. 15, 25, and 35. Okay. That then is job done. Now, pleased with that. Quick show you that. Looking good. Okay, that was good. Obviously, I've got work to do on the engine to finish it off. We've got those valve clearances to do, just to finish that piece off. Also, there's some cosmetic work to do. There's the timing chain cover, which is in this state currently. So that's probably going to be blasted and powder coated, probably. There's also this thing, which is the starter motor cover. Similar fate before that, I think. And then that's the engine pretty much finished. On then to the gearbox, which would be great. So, thanks again for watching. Don't forget to like, comment down the bottom there somewhere, and please subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.